everyone, my name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the start of the second part of my writing challenge vlog. So if you missed out on part one, I will leave part one tagged down below. Go watch that and then come back for this one because this is part two. So you're gonna wanna watch the first one to get all the information and everything about it. But it's officially day 15, it's June 15th. I skipped yesterday filming, not actually writing, but I am sitting at, currently, as we are starting this video, 38,144 words. So we're still kicking, which is very, very exciting. Today might be the first day that I miss, that I miss writing the words, because it is currently 10 to 11 at night. I have written exactly 103 words today. I have been like rereading a scene and like adding to it, which is not fast drafting, and I just don't today have the energy for fast drafting. So we're gonna see how much I end up doing today. But I have built enough of a buffer because today is halfway the month, and so technically it should be halfway the challenge, so I should be only hitting about 35,000 words today. So I am currently 3,000 words over that point where I'm supposed to be at for today. So I don't mind taking today if I need it, but I am rereading a little bit, mainly just so I can see how the story flows, because yesterday in my, it's been like a couple days now where like the writing has not been as easy, and I think that's just because it has been 12, 13, 14, 15 days of writing every day, over 2,000 words every day for all of those days straight, right? Like I might need a break. I might need a break, and that's totally fine. Yesterday, I ended up going back through a bunch of scenes and adding a little bit, which I might also do today because I did remember an element of the story that I totally forgot to add. And I remembered it because I was thinking about a previous conversation that I had with one of my friends named Sophie, and I remember mentioning a bookstore cat, and she was like, name the cat after me, or like something along that line, and I totally forgot to implement the cat in this, so I gotta go back and add in a cat. So fun fact, there's gonna be a bookstore cat named Sophie. After my lovely friend Sophie, because I think that's pretty cute. But yeah, I actually have to add in the bookstore cat, but today might be a fail, but that's okay because that's what we built a buffer for. So I just can't miss any more days, but it is exactly halfway the month, so maybe that's a good time to take a day where I don't push myself to get the 2,000 words in. Actually take a little bit of a break so I don't crush my mental health more than it already is crushed. I am still loving this project. I'm still so excited about it, and I'm so excited to get this story polished so I can send it to people to read. I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to, like, as soon as this draft is done, just like throw it at people to read, or if I want to actually like go back through and like comb through it myself once before then I send it to people. That might be how I do it, just so that I don't leave anything weird in the draft. But my lovely beta reader Kat, who beta read Project Dream, has been asking me in my Instagram DMs, being like, can I please have it? And I'm like, listen, I gotta write it first. So she's definitely gonna have it, and I'm excited to see who else wants it. What other things should I tell you at the beginning of this video? If you didn't watch part one and you're still watching this one after I told you to go watch part one, this is a 30-day writing challenge throughout the month of June, where I've tried to write a 70,000 word novel in the month of June. So it's like extreme NaNoWriMo, where I write 2,300 words every day, roughly. In my Scrivener word count, it has, since I've built a little bit of a buffer by writing more than my word count every day, the daily word count has dropped to 1,997 words now that I have to write every day to keep that goal of 70,000 in sight by midnight on June 30th. So that's what's happening. I'm writing a cozy fantasy story about Finn and Ari, my two lovely characters who are based off of Merlin and Arthur from the show Merlin. And it is a cozy fantasy about them going to a bookstore. It's also inspired by Travis Baldry's Legends and Lattes, and it is the first of a series, a companion series. It's very exciting. So I think that's it. I think that's all I need to tell you. But yeah, it's now 6 minutes to 11, so I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. I'm going to count today as a fail because there's no way I'm going to write 2,000 words in the remaining of the day. So today is a fail, the first of all of them, and that's okay. Halfway through the month, first fail. The rest of the month, we're just going to keep going strong.
Hello friends, it is now June 17th, and I'm popping in with some freshly washed hair. Hi, hello. I'm popping in a little early today. It's only about 10:30 a.m. I mainly wanted to talk about how the past couple days have been fails. When I started this, wow, apparently I'm also losing my voice. When I started this second part of the vlog, the day 15 was a fail. I didn't get even close to hitting the word count. And then yesterday as well, I didn't even really try because I had one of my friends over from high school and I haven't seen her in months. And we haven't had like a good sit down hangout chat in probably over a year. And so we ended up talking from like 5 till 10:30, 11 when she ended up leaving. Once she was gone, I like sat down and then I edited I put up the video, the part 1, and then suddenly it was midnight. And I was like, oh, I don't have time to write 2,000 words today. 2,000 words takes me at least 2 hours to get in, and I work, right? So I couldn't do it yesterday. I ended up reading through a little bit of my manuscript and like going back through and adding a couple things. I maybe added like 200 words or something. Alas, last 2 days were a little bit of a fail, which is fine. I've been telling myself that I've probably needed that break. There's something about writing every day that's probably a little bit detrimental to your mental health, as you guys probably know. But yeah, maybe it was just my body telling me that I needed a break. And today is Friday, so like technically I could be okay, but then I remembered I have D&D tonight. So I'm gonna try and see if I can get my words in after work or like during a little bit of a break before D&D. And I'm probably gonna end up going grocery shopping tomorrow rather than tonight like I usually do. Although tonight I do need to go to the library to pick up a hold, so I might as well go grocery shopping tonight too. So we'll see how today's words go. But thankfully it is Friday, so I don't mind if I stay up a little bit later than usual, because as you guys know, my sleeping schedule is just bananas. So I don't mind if I stay up a little bit later to get my words in. But I think what I've also noticed from the past couple days is that I've entered into this a little bit of a rut where I've just gone back and like was reading through the scenes that I've already written and adding there. So it's not easier for me to get like 300, 400, 500 words in one writing session or like a sprint or whatever, because I'm going back and reading and adding and editing, and that's not good. I need to not let myself do that, because I know myself, and if I keep letting myself do that, I will sit in those last few scenes that I've written or the ones that I've already written, and I will nitpick and sit in them for a while. I will say there were 2 things that I wanted to actually add in, like 2 elements that I wanted to add into the story. One of them was like scenes where Ari and Finn see townsfolk actually coming into the store once they've started the renovations to like, you know, they're regular patrons of the bookstore and they're like, there's no books. What? So I've had a couple scenes where Ari has met one of the regulars and like talk to them about the books that they really like. Then at a later time, we had Finn like kind of observing Ari in this role with a couple other townsfolk that have come in that asked for books or want to browse, but there's nothing to browse because they're in the middle of renovations. So it's nice to do that as well as kind of like set up the other people in the town in a little bit more of an in-depth way. So there's that I wanted to add in, which I have done. I think that's what I did on the 14th, which is before I started this vlog. And then I also yesterday added in a little brown cat that I've been meaning to add in, and I only remembered her the other day. And I was like, oh my God, I need to add in this little brown cat. So I added her in, which is very cute. And we're gonna kind of, you know, bring her back every once in a while as a like little touch point of a character, and then she's gonna end up being the bookstore cat. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to kind of pop in with that little update. Hopefully today we get my words in. Looking at the weekend. So the weekends usually do really well for me for writing because I have my live streams on Saturdays and it's just time for me to relax. Looking into next week, my dad is going away to Germany for like a business thing. And so my mom wanted me to come home, sleep there for a couple nights so that I could look after Bella, because otherwise she's running around at noon to come and like see Bella and whatever. So I'm gonna go Monday night and work from the house Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then come back here Thursday. So next week might be a little weird having mom there, but we should be okay. We should be okay. I might just not vlog as much, which is totally okay. Anyways, I should probably get to work. So I will chat with you guys a little later. Hello friends, it is now June 18th. Hi, hello. No, it's June 17th. It's just currently 1:15 in the morning, so technically it's June 18th. But I just finished up day 17's day of writing, and we're back on track, my guys. We're back. We're going. We're doing it. I've broken the 40K mark. I've added 2,700 words today. We're back. We're back. And we're getting there, and we're getting to some parts that I didn't really think of originally when I was like writing that synopsis that I told you guys about, that I've written like in this little ideas book that I have, I didn't really have like a super close idea of like what was going to happen in these parts. I knew vaguely, but I fleshed it out when I was starting this project at the end of May, and I'm getting to them, and it's really interesting to kind of play with it a little bit, because I'm playing not only with these like elements of small town slice of life, but then I'm adding in this a little bit of like conflict, because every book has to have a little bit of conflict, right? Like there are things that have to happen, right? They're people, they're characters, they're gonna have disagreements and stuff like that. But the stakes in this book are very, very low stakes. But there's been like a question of safety that's been like kind of haunting the boys throughout due to extraneous circumstances. There's also a point of Finn's fear that he didn't even realize he really had of like commitment and like settling down. It's not a fear of commitment, because he is committed to Ari like in the moment he sees him. Basically he loves him so dearly, but there is a little bit of like panic that shoots through him every time he thinks of like, this is my life now, I'm never gonna be back on the road again, and I'm never gonna have that like freedom of being on the road again. And there's a few moments where he gets hit with this like a javelin. It just smashes into him, and he just had this moment where it was this beautiful heartfelt moment when him and Ari and a bunch of other townsfolk are like painting the front of the bookstore. It's this moment of like the town is coming together and this street is coming together to like make this place come alive again. And Finn has this like fleeting thought of seeing Ari with a bunch of kids dancing around him, because he's like doing little magic tricks for them. He has this fleeting thought of like, what if we have our own kids? And that scares him to his core, because he never thought he would ever have that in his life, because he lived as a royal assassin, a life of like, he didn't really know people. He just did his job because he was supposed to stay in the shadows, right? And so this moment hits him and he panics, rightly so, because he realizes how much his life has changed and how much he's liking it. And that's what scares him, is how comfortable and at home he feels. And he's just like, what the hell? So he like runs away. He just goes on a walk around the town, and then he meets an adventuring party. Through this adventuring party, ends up making a couple choices that aren't very, very smart. But this adventuring party is very fun, because this is the adventuring party that Sage ends up joining. And I am living for this first little interaction with them. So while I've got you, I will read to you the description of what Finn sees. He has this moment of like, he sees an adventuring party, there's a member in full plate armor, and he panics because he's like, oh my god, is this my old adventuring party? But when they turned, he realized instead of a gnome, an Aarakocra, an orc, and a human, he saw a large woman that was nearly 5 inches taller than he, with bright red hair bound back in a tight braid. A dwarf man with a beard full of beads and colorful bits, and a slight being that hovered a little bit over the ground and looked nearly translucent in this light. A fourth being turned the corner, and an Aarakocra in full shining plate armor, a blazing greatsword on his back, came into view. The sight of the feather being caused Finn's heart rate to kick up again, but he quickly took in the bluish feathers rather than the black from the old party member, and he relaxed. These were just normal adventurers. Oh, but my dear Finian, there's so much more. Anyways, I'm glad that I'm back and I'm in a better mood. I don't know what it was, but the first couple clips of this video, I was just kind of like, was trying not to feel down on myself for having those few failures, but we're back. We're back, guys. We're in it. We're back in. I'm back in love with this story. I don't know what happened for those 2 days. Maybe I just needed the break. So it's currently 1:20 in the morning. I'm wide awake. I don't know why. Like, I could be awake for hours more. I'm not going to, because that would wreck my day tomorrow. But I am going to finish up this episode of Merlin, because I've got about 20 minutes left. Am I going to finish this episode of Merlin? I probably shouldn't. I probably should just stop and like pack up for the night. But yeah, we've added 2,700 words today, and I'm very proud of myself for doing so. We're back. Tomorrow, live stream, we're just gonna keep going. Hello, friends! Oh my gosh, I needed to pop in. I didn't plan on updating you guys today, but I needed to pop in because I've hit the 44,000 word mark today, and which is not really a milestone in my head. 50,000 will be the milestone that I'm gonna probably reach in the next couple of days. But I wanted to pop in because I realized today that we're starting the denouement of this story. I hate using that word because that's not really what I like to describe stories as. It's like having like a falling action. I think that's what it is. I think that's what it translates to. Couldn't tell ya. I learned that word in French, so who knows? But it's like the, you know, the moment of like, all is lost in the dark night of the soul. Whatever that would be, but in cozy fantasy terms, we're getting to the end of the story, essentially. And I'm so amped. So like, these are all the cue cards I have left to write. Also, I love how this one's just Finn, question mark, Ari, question mark, because I don't know which point of view I want this scene to be from. But I have these upcoming scene cards, and I think from what I remember about them is that I didn't have enough fleshed out, I think. We're gonna see what happens when I actually get to starting to write these starting tomorrow, because I'm done writing for today. I want to read instead. But when I start actually writing these scenes that I've got here, we'll see if they end up having to be fleshed out more and more added in. But for now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more cue cards to go. And I've already written like the quote unquote epilogue of this. Not the epilogue that I have like planned out in the cue cards, so that might end up being an extra scene actually. But it's gonna be a moment of like, I love this ending so much. I actually wrote it really early on as a like mirror to the first scene of the book, because the very first line of the book, as you guys know from my first part of this vlog, is wildflowers danced happily in the sunshine, their brilliantly colored heads ducking and swaying throughout the meadow. Aurelius Damaris sat surrounded by his other party members, staring out at the meadow around him, wondering what he had gotten himself into. Right? That's the first bit. And so the last lines of the book that I have written, that are going to probably say the last lines because I love them so much, are, wildflowers danced happily in the golden light, their brilliantly colored heads ducking and swaying throughout the meadow. Aurelius Damaris and Finian Goldmark both sat together, hands entwined, contemplating the journey that had brought them together and what would come next. So like, I love how it wraps around, and I have a couple callbacks from like the very beginning of their story and stuff like that. And it might change a little bit as I write it, and I realize that the epilogue I had originally planned is a completely different scene. So I will have that scene added in. So technically 7 more cue cards to write. 7 more, and then I'm done. Which makes sense, because it's June 18th today. Like, we have like 12 days left of this challenge, technically, right? 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th. 12 more days. And I have to write another, I don't even know, 26,000 words in 12 more days. That seems wrong, but it's correct. That's where I'm at, and that's my update for today. But we're cruising right along, my guys. I can feel the end of the story, and I can feel that fever at the end of the story always gives me. So I think we're gonna be good from here on out and keeping the momentum to the end of the month, because that end of the story momentum is starting to catch up with me. And today during my live stream, I actually was thinking about what's gonna come next for this project, obviously, because once it's done, I have to do more things with it. I am going to, once it's done, I'm going to read through it once, just to make sure that it makes sense and that it's like readable, you know, top to bottom. And then I'm not even gonna touch it. I am just going to send it to beta readers. So it's gonna go to Kat, because Kat, you're my beta reader. Top beta reader. It'll go to any of my friends if they want to read it. Once this is done, hopefully July, I can figure out something else to do. I think I might spend July revisiting Project Dragon, but also working in the sequels for this, like trying to figure out what stories I want to do next, what kind of like tropes I want to bring into them, what kind of characters I'm going to be dealing with, because I know Ari and Finn so well, having played Ari for over a year in D&D and having the both of them sitting in my head for more than that, for like 2 years now or more. I know that I'm writing Ari very, very different from how I played him, but it's easy when you've had these characters in your head for so long. So going into new characters, I'm gonna need to plan them out and see how that goes. But yeah, I think this summer is gonna be a summer of working in tandem between Project Dragon and like outlining and deciding what I want to do with this series, you know? It'll be one of those things. That's today's update. I will catch you at another time. Hello friends, and happy day 19! I wanted to pop in again because I don't know what it is. Now that I'm back in this like momentum, I'm living for it. I'm just living for it. So today we wrote 3,456 words. 3,456 words. Oh my god. And we are now sitting at the 47,860 word mark. I I'm losing my mind, and we only have 5 more cue cards to write. I wrote 2 of them today. This was the moment of like emotional turmoil. So I was like, all right, let's just pour all of this shit onto the page. And I did, and I'm so happy with it. Get ready to be hurt. As well as coddled in a loving blanket with this book. I promise it's not gonna like absolutely tear you to pieces. It's just this moment. There has to be a little bit of turmoil. There has to be a little bit of stakes, but generally it's very low stakes. It's just emotional stakes, I guess. And don't worry, it solves itself in a couple chapters. I promise you. Even though I will probably make some people cry, it'll be fine. I promise. But yeah, I wrote so much today. And yeah, 5 cue cards left. I don't know how much of one specific part I'm going to write. As I said in my update yesterday, I have a bit coming up that I haven't really thought about how many scenes I'll do of it. And because it's not the focus of this story, I don't think I will do a lot. I think it'll be more like time jumpy, we'll say. We'll see. 5 cue cards left. I'm baffled. We are so close to the 50,000 word mark. I'm starting to think that this might not hit 70,000 words, this draft, before the story is done, which is also an interesting idea and an interesting fact. So we'll have to see what I end up doing in the next 11 days of this challenge. That's today's update. A little bit of emotional damage is happening, but it's all gonna be okay. I promise. Hello, my lovely friends. I'm speaking very quietly because, as you can tell, I'm not at home right now. I'm staying at my mom's place, or my mom and dad's place, with my mom to take care of Bella when she goes to work this week because dad is currently in Germany. So that's where I am right now. But it's day 20. It's June 20. Well, it's technically June 21st because it's 1 in the morning because I have no sense of sleep schedule anymore. But it's day 20 of this challenge, and I've hit 50,000 words. I mean, just look at that. Look at that glorious number. And I wrote all those words from like 10 o'clock to now, which, you know, is fairly okay. So I just wanted to pop in and say hi and say that I've hit the 50K mark. We've hit another milestone and we are coming close to the end of this story. I can feel it. I can feel it. The bookstore is complete and Ari's just about to open it and Finn is doing his thing. So excited, but I have to be quiet and I can't like show you how excited I am, but oh my god, okay, I'll catch up with you later. Hello friends, it is day 23 of the challenge, technically day 24 because it is 1:12 in the morning. I need to sleep, but I just finished my words for day 23 and I'm all excited because I ended up choosing, instead of, you know, writing in the main storyline, because I literally have like a scene and a half left to do. Instead of writing in the main storyline, I was like, nah, I don't want to be done. I'm gonna write a short story. I'm gonna write the like quote unquote epilogue, even though I already have an epilogue in this story. Just like a short story that's gonna accompany it, maybe, that is Finn and Ari still, but it's like months later as autumn rolls in and they finally get to go on a tour of the lighthouse that they've been meaning to do since the beginning of the story. And it's a cute scene and I lean into the trope of romance novels. You know what happens during an epilogue of a romance novel. Usually. So I got to lean into that and I got to play with that a little bit, which was so fun. Oh my god, it was so sweet and it was really nice to have like the scene kind of unfold in a very slow, methodical manner. But I ended up adding like 2,700 words today, and my guys, we are now sitting at, what is it exactly, 55,939 words today, which is pretty great. Yesterday I ended up having another fail day. I was still at home because I've only come back to my place today. I was still staying with my mom, and I also taught last night, summer teaching, and I just got hit with the biggest bout of exhaustion and a headache. So yesterday I only wrote like 300 words and I didn't want to force it. So technically I probably could have been done this story yesterday, but I'm slowly making my way to the end because I have like 7 days left of this challenge. So we're gonna see. Tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow I have the evening free because my D&D campaign
or my D&D game has been moved due to different scheduling things. So I have the evening free. I think tomorrow my goal with this story is to start reading back through and see if I can add more to it. Because right now it's probably going to be about 60k maybe, and I want to push it over the 60k mark. Because I've been saying since the beginning this is going to be a 70,000 word novel, and it's not. So I got to do something to fix that. I got to do something to try and add more words, try and see if I can, you know, make all the scenes good, as good as they're meant to be. Anyways, I wanted to pop in with that update. I wrote a short story to accompany Project Second Story, which is very, very fun. I've also asked on my Instagram what bookstore name people like more. I asked on my Instagram and my Twitter, either A Second Story or Adventure Books. Both of them have meaning in the text, and I don't know which one I like more. I had picked the name A Second Story because I call it Project Second Story, but I don't know anymore. I'm not like I'm not super sold on A Second Story as a store name, as a bookstore name, but I don't know. You guys let me know down below which one you prefer. Adventure Books or A Second Story. I will also be asking my beta readers which one they like better, or if they can come up with a better name for the store, because that's a thing in the book. At some point, you know, the sign falls down at the beginning and they say, oh, we'll have to think of a name. At the end, there's this moment of like, we still don't have a name for the book or for the store, and we still don't have a sign, even though everything else is ready. What should we name it? And it's after this big climactic moment and this emotional moment, whatever, and Finn says, oh, I think we finally have a name, and then says either A Second Story or Adventure Books, and I don't know which one to pick. So that's my dilemma. I don't know which name to pick. I'm also now conflicted because I was gonna name the book A Second Story. I'm gonna have to see after I'm going through beta read edits and stuff what to name this friggin' book, because I don't know. I don't know a title name, and that's very important. I'm also considering like series name as a whole. The series is all gonna be connected somehow, and I got different options. I'm trying to do this without my air turning back on. You know, that likes to turn on and chat with me, but I don't know. I have a Federally Placed novel, which is the name of the street that they're on, or I'm gonna have like property of Arrowmount Books, and then like bar it out and then say the actual name of the bookstore. I don't know about that one, or just an Arrowmount novel, because it's probably gonna expand out of more of Arrowmount. I don't know. We'll have to see. Those are things mainly for me as I like worry and panic over naming these things. Anyways, I'm gonna call it for now, and I will touch base with you guys when I have another update.
It's day 25 and I'm done. I'm officially done. I'm officially done this draft. I'm officially done this challenge. Oh my god, I'm done. I've officially written a 60,000 word novel in 30 days. Oh my gosh, today I ended up adding 2,400 words, 2,474 words to this draft, and we are now sitting at a final draft, a final first draft of 60,825 words. We're done. I'm done. I'm done. My challenge. I succeeded in writing a novel in 30 days, in 25 days actually. And I failed in the 70,000 word part of the challenge, but I'm close. I'm under 10,000 words away from 70k, and that's all right because I finished the novel. And today I ended up adding a scene that I forgot that I needed. It was a little bit of a farewell scene for Sage, because Sage is currently going off on an adventure, which is going to be a like spin-off series that I'm going to write. It's going to focus entirely on Sage and her adventures with her adventuring party. And so I needed that scene in here of her officially saying goodbye. It like made me tear up. And I love writing scenes like that. Today during my live stream, because I didn't really know if I was done or not, because last night I was sitting there and I was like, I could be done with the scene that I wrote last night. The last few sentences, I was like, this feels like it could be the end. And I don't want it to be the end. So today I read back through the last few chapters of my ending and realized I needed that scene. So I added 2,400 words and we are ending this challenge at 60K. And rereading those last few chapters was so much fun and so wonderful, and it gave me like happy, bubbly feelings, which is exactly what I wanted in a book like this. God, and like right now, because the world is just shit, I'm tired of living in unprecedented times. I needed a book like this, and I wish I could give it to people right now so you would all have something this soft and kind to read, to escape from the world. I promise I'll get it to you fast as I can. First draft is done. Now I send it to readers. That's weird. But yeah, that's what's next for me with this novel. I think I'm going to spend a little time over the next few days just reading through like the middle of it, because I've read through the beginning of it quite a lot. And then today I read through the ending. So I feel like I need to read through the middle sections a little bit more, just to make sure that there's nothing absolutely bananas in my writing. Once that's done, I'm gonna send it to a couple readers. So I have 2 beta readers right now, or I have one for sure confirmed and one who wanted to be, who said something on TikTok, so I can make this the best it can be as we go into second and third drafts and whatever. And as I start to like investigate the indie publishing scene. But as of right now, because we are at the end of June, I think next steps with this series as a whole, I might start looking at like just brainstorming ideas as to what other stories could be. Maybe start dabbling in Sage's first story. Probably won't be hers that's published after this one, after Ari and Finn. It'll be probably another one from Federally Place, and then we'll probably do Sage's first one. But I want to write it anyways so that I have it banked so that I can release them when I want to. But I'm done with these boys, and I'm weirdly emotional about it, and I love it. I'm so glad that I get to share this like challenge with you guys, and to like be on this journey with you guys, and sharing my updates on like TikTok and Instagram every day has been really fun. So I'm so excited. I hope you guys are excited too. I'm officially done, and that means that this vlog is officially done. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me as I try to write a 70,000 word novel in the month of June. I have officially written a 60,000 word novel in 25 days instead of a 70,000 word novel in 30 days. And I'm calling it here. We've written the end. My boys are in Federally Place running a bookshop, and I love it. Please let me know down below if you, I don't know, have any favorite tropes that you love in stories, because I will probably be pulling from them to write the next ones in these novels. As a reminder, this was based off of, you know, Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree, so I guess to satiate any curiosity in this book as I'm still working on it and getting it ready for you guys, you could always go and read his book. It's lovely and soft and wonderful. But all right, my friends, my air told me I need to stop talking. So thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in another video very, very soon. Stay kind and keep on writing.